In this video, I want to share 10 tips to make money thrifting books for Amazon FBA in 2024. So I've been selling on Amazon for about 10 years, and how I started was actually selling books. Now, I love books for a lot of different reasons. They're inexpensive. You don't have to get ungated in most of them. The margins are high. They're not really going to get damaged when you ship. And a lot of people think that, they're not valuable, but the margins could be absolutely crazy. So I want to give 10 tips, especially for the folks who are brand new, but I'll also give some intermediate advanced tips as well. But I want to help you to be able to sell more books, find more books, source more books, and make more money. So without further ado, let's dive into today's video. Tip number 1, explore the different thrift stores in your area to see which ones are best. So if you're looking to start making money, selling books, one of the best locations to go to are going to be your local thrift stores. So Goodwill, Salvation Army, Savers, even your little mom and pop thrift stores can sometimes make you really good money, but you want to explore the different ones in your area. You want to figure out, which ones have a lot of inventory that are coming, which ones maybe don't have as much competition, which ones do you make a lot of money from, which ones does it just seem like they're scanning all the books in the back, which some of them do. So you really want to just kind of experiment and visit all the different thrift stores in your area to see which ones are best. And the truth is, that's how we do it as well. We have a bunch of thrift stores in probably a 10-mile radius, but I would say 80% of them aren't that great. So we focus on the 20% that typically make us the most money. Tip number 2, when you go to a thrift store to be able to, find books to be able to flip on Amazon, you want to figure out which books are going to be the new stock and which ones are going to be the old stock. So what I mean is, which books have just hit the shelf? Which books did they just bring it off the cart within the last day or two, right? And there's a bunch of different ways that you can do this. A lot of thrift stores like Savers, they have a different color associated and they swap out the colors. The same with Goodwill, at least in Connecticut. So if you get to learn what color it is for that week or what's the newest versus the oldest, you can determine which books are new, which books are old, and you could stay away from the old stuff, which has probably been scanned through, and focus on the new inventory, which has the best chance of making you money. Tip number 3, when you're thrifting books for profits on Amazon, is to figure out what times the books come out and attack those carts if you can. I know if you work at a thrift store, you probably think the resellers who are attacking the carts are annoying. I get it, but that's where the money is. It's on the carts, as long as you're allowed to do it. But you want to figure out what times, what days do the workers and the employees at the thrift stores bring out books. I have a lot of thrift stores that I visited and I've learned their routines. And many of the thrift stores have certain days they put out most of their books. They have certain times that they put out books. They have certain days and times where they stop putting out books. So you really want to get to know your thrift stores and figure out, when does the new stock come out? What days, what times? Because I'm telling you right now, especially if you have competition in your area, you're going to make 2 to 3 times the amount of money and find 2 to 3 times as much profitable books if you get there at the right time. And that does take learning, observing, and being patient and figuring out, when's the best time I should go thrifting for books. Tip number 4, when it comes to making money thrifting books on Amazon FBA in 2024 and beyond, is making sure you have a handheld scanner to scan fast. I use a Natamu scanner. Now, there is a whole bunch of different ones that you can use. They do link up to your phone via Bluetooth. So essentially, you're going to want to get an app like Scout IQ or Scoutly. I'll put some free trials down below, but you're going to want to link up your scanner to your phone, which then connects to your actual scanning app. I know it sounds kind of confusing, but I talk all about this in my free 5-day book selling workshop. So if you go to rakeandprofit.com/workshop, it's over 2 hours of free content. I share with you how to connect it, how to use it, how to scan. But I'm telling you right now, if you are not using a handheld scanner, you're going to be scanning 2, 3, 4, 5 times as slow. And you could just go through so many more books if you had a scanner and you had a scanning app. So get one, check it out. I'm telling you right now, I promise you, you're going to make that much more money. And the scanner I use is like $50. So it's a really great investment. And all it takes is a couple books to literally pay it off and, get your money back. Tip number 5, if you're at a thrift store that doesn't have good internet, which, matter of fact, recently I went to the casino with my mom and we stopped at a thrift store that had really terrible internet. We were able to scan because we actually downloaded the Scout IQ database. So I'll put a link down below for a free trial to Scout IQ. That's what we use to scan all of our books. But you could actually download the Amazon database onto Scout IQ, but you have to make sure you do this on a regular basis so the data is up to date. If you don't have internet, you could scan without the internet. So you're not scanning via live mode, you're scanning based upon the database. So if you download it the day before, the prices will be a little bit outdated, but still it'll be somewhat close. But I'll tell you right now, if you have a thrift store where there's really poor internet service, download Scout IQ, like get Scout IQ, get the free trial, download the database. It is I think it's like an increased plan, but it's well worth it. And I'm telling you right now, you're going to find so many deals because the competitors, they're just not going to do it. Tip number 6, when you're going to thrift stores for books to flip on Amazon, is to always double check purchases before you leave the thrift store. You're going to want to check for restrictions. You're going to want to check the books to make sure it's actually selling for what maybe Scout IQ or Scout Lead told you. So always double check with the Amazon seller app. You're going to want to make sure the ranks were actually good and the sell-through rate is good. And you're just going to want to make sure that it's worth your time. Make sure the title matches up. Make sure there's no huge MF to FBA gaps, which might, encourage a tank in your desired price. Just spend some time to make sure you're buying something that's good and well worth it, because it doesn't matter if you buy a bunch of books that are mega profitable. If the sell-through rates are terrible, if you're restricted, if the price is going to just tank because there's a ton of sellers on it, or there's a huge FBA to FBM gap, or it's like an outlier, then it's really not worth it, right? You want to make sure the items are going to sell. You want to make sure that the title, like the picture of the book that you actually purchased is the same picture on the app that you scanned, because sometimes there could be various products associated with like an ISBN or a UPC. So you just want to double check that before you leave this thrift store and pay for it, that you're buying something that's worth it, or else you're just going to waste your money and deal with cash flow issues. Tip number 7, do not let the competition intimidate you. I'm telling you right now, there are competitors out there who are going to give you dirty looks. They're going to say, this is my area. I mean, we used to have a competitor at our local Goodwill in Manchester, Connecticut, and this guy was a freaking fool. He would show up to the thrift store with a freaking stool. He would bring a stool with him and he would plop it down in front of the bookshelf or in front of the, I've talked about this before. He put it in front of the actual bin that would come out and he would just block it off like it's his. It's like, dude, get out of the way. And then like you would reach in and it's almost like you were trying to steal his kid. It's like, listen, these books aren't yours. Okay. I'm just as, I have just the same right that you do to go in and look for the books. You can't just plop a stool down in front of it and just act like you own this thing. Right. So you're going to run into silly people like that. They're going to try to intimidate you. They're going to try to manipulate you. They're going to try to make you feel bad for sourcing. I do think that there is a line of etiquette and you want to be respectful. And if the thrift store is empty, you don't have to go right next to the person unless, they're going after like a cart or something, a new cart or textbooks. But don't let the competition intimidate you. Stand your ground. You have the right to be there. You have the right to make money. And, just don't let other people and competitors walk all over you. Tip number 8, scan books that don't have a barcode. Check this out. There's no barcode on it. How do you scan it? Well, you could use the Amazon seller app to scan the cover. You could use Scout IQ. It has a feature that could scan the ISBN inside on like the first or second page. You could type in the title to your app, illustration Quebec 6, to look it up. But I'll tell you right now, a lot of your competitors are going to be lazy. They're not going to scan books that don't have a barcode. They're going to skip it. They're just trying to streamline their business, which is fine. But there's going to be great opportunities for books that can make you a lot of money at thrift stores that are missing a barcode. Tip number 9 at the thrift store, and this can make you a lot of money, is put together book sets. One example that I could talk about is Harry Potter. If you see a bunch of different random Harry Potters together, maybe volume 1 and then 5 and then 2 and then 4 and then 3, sometimes it's worth it to put that set together and then sell it. The same with DVDs. I know we're talking about books now, but book sets can make you a ton of money, literally. So, if you see a bunch of books and it looks like, they're a part of the same set, like even encyclopedias, dictionaries, put them together if you can. And all you really have to do is stretch wrap them and put a do not separate sticker on, and you can throw it in your box just so Amazon knows it's a set and you're good to go. And last but not least, number 10, stay away from new books. Don't sell books as new. Now, I sell thousands of other products like DVDs and board games and electronics, and the list goes on and on as new. But with books, I won't do it. Amazon's very strict with this. I've personally known people get in trouble and get suspended for not having invoices to prove it. Now, again, it's somewhat similar with other products. You know, it is obviously a higher chance of, you know, having Amazon ask for an invoice if you sell new versus used. But for some reason, books is like 10 times more risky. I wouldn't do it, you know, unless you had invoices. So hopefully this video helped. If you enjoyed this video, let me know and smash that like button. If you want any mentorship or help growing your Amazon business, check out Reselling Freedom. This is the membership site that I run with over 7 other coaches. We do 3 to 5 live coaching calls every week. We have workshops, we have courses. I mean, it's all included, and we have a community. So if you want to be a part of a community and grow and learn and take your Amazon business to the next level, check out Reselling Freedom. But with that being said, hopefully this video helps you to make more money thrifting books on Amazon FBA in 2024. Smash that like button, and I'll see you inside Reselling Freedom. Much love.